Laura Wood slams, baffling, take as Eileen Gu criticized over Olympic gold comments. One of the biggest stars at the 2026 Winter Olympics has undoubtedly been Eileen Gu. The American-born Chinese freestyle skier came into the Games with a big reputation but left having enhanced it to even greater levels. The 22-year-old was able to win 3 medals for China at the 2026 Milan Cortina Olympics. As the world's best free skier, she won gold in the halfpipe, having also claimed 2 silvers in slopestyle and big air. As a result, she's now won medals in all 6 events she's entered over the last 2 games, 3 gold and 3 silver, enhancing her status as the most decorated women's freeski athlete of all time. Gu was the best-paid athlete at the Winter Games, but most of her money actually comes from endorsements, including Chinese brands Anta, Bozading, Mengniu Dairy, and Luckin Coffee. Some of her wealth has come after the Asian country incentivized her to switch national allegiances, although it's important to note her call to stop representing the U.S. comes from a desire to be an inspiration for an underrepresented nation. Even so, having been born in the United States, she sparked a pretty big reaction when switching to China in 2019, and that fallout still lingers today. Eileen Gu questions journalists' ridiculous Winter Olympics take. Speaking this week after her recent success in Italy, an interaction with a reporter went viral. Gu was asked if she viewed her 2 silver medals as something gained or simply 2 golds lost. She replied, "I'm the most decorated female freeskier in history. I think that's an answer in and of itself. How do I say this? Winning a medal at the Olympics is a life-changing experience for every athlete. Doing it 5 times is exponentially harder because every medal is equally hard for me, but everybody else's expectations rise, right? The 2 medals lost situation, to be quite frank with you, I think is kind of a ridiculous perspective to take. I'm showcasing my best skiing. I'm doing things that quite literally have never been done before. So, I think that is more than good enough, but thank you." Gu exuded confidence as she eloquently explained why she valued all of her medal wins at the Games so highly, leading her to conclude that the question was ridiculous. However, some have viewed her comments as arrogant. American journalist Megan Basham was one of those to take this stance. The New York Times bestselling author wrote on social media, "I'm sorry, but even beyond betraying her country, this woman is awful. Off the chart levels of arrogance. I don't care how many medals she has, there is nothing about her I would encourage my daughters to emulate." Popular British presenter and Premier League host Laura Woods, however, hit back strongly against these claims. She explained that there was nothing wrong with Gu's self-belief, stating, "Find these takes baffling. Why is confidence and pride always reframed as arrogance? You don't get to the top level without self-belief. Why is it necessary to be coy about your achievements? Or is it just a female thing? Clearly not seen any of her other interviews before if you don't think she's a role model. Would love my kid to turn out like her." Snowcap Mountain, more than medals, the collision between athletic achievement and public expectation. By viewer and storyteller, a reflection on sport, media, and meaning. The Winter Olympics have always been a stage where athleticism intersects with national pride, personal legacy, and the uncompromising gaze of global audiences. Amid the cheering of crowds, the clocked times, and the gleam of podium medals, there is another contest, a contest of stories, interpretations, and sometimes national emotions. In Milan Cortina 2026, few figures epitomize this collision more starkly than Eileen Gu, the Chinese representing, American-born freestyle skiing phenom, and the viral reactions that have followed her every answer, smile, and statement. When Gu was asked after winning a silver medal in freeski slopestyle whether she viewed her result as 2 silvers gained or 2 golds lost, she didn't just answer. She set a tone. Laughing, she said, "I'm the most decorated female freeskier in history. I think that's an answer in and of itself," and pushed back on the premise that her achievement was somehow less than it should be. That answer, poised, confident, and unapologetic, immediately became a lightning rod. Microphone the viral response that didn't stay in the snow. The clip of Gu's response spread rapidly, sparking reactions ranging from praise to sharp criticism. Some hailed her for reframing what success means, while others balked at what they saw as an overly defensive or dismissive tone. Within hours, headlines and memes popped up across social media, framing and reframing the moment like an Olympic halfpipe judge scoring runs. Amid this swirl, British broadcaster Laura Woods entered the conversation. Woods publicly slammed what she called a baffling interpretation of Gu's viral moment, specifically criticizing the idea that Gu's words were anything other than a grounded reflection on her own performance. Her commentary itself went viral, pulling hundreds of thousands of eyeballs into a debate that transcended sport and touched on media interpretation, national expectation, and the psychology of competition. Woods didn't just express surprise. She echoed a question many fans and observers were already considering. Why label this moment as a disappointment when history shows the exact opposite? For Woods and others, the heart of the matter wasn't a single sentence. It was how that sentence reflected shifting attitudes toward achievement, identity, and the meaning of victory itself. Woman climbing reimagining achievement, not just counting gold. At its core, Gu's response challenges the spectator's instinct to assign diminishing value to silver. In many corners of the sporting world, that instinct is deeply ingrained. A gold medal is the sum of dreams, the holy grail of competition, and anything less must be framed as a missed opportunity. But Gu disrupts that narrative. Her words, grounded in personal context, not public expectation, remind us that every medal represents mastery of craft, sacrifice, and the culmination of years of physical and mental trials. Winning a medal at the Olympics is a life-changing experience for every athlete, she said, noting that doing so multiple times is an exponential challenge. Even outside the commentary and critique, that perspective resonates with many everyday athletes and people who have invested sweat and soul into pursuits less public but equally meaningful. Globe with Meridian's Why This Moment became a symbol. To understand why a simple press conference exchange ignited so much discussion, it helps to recognize two forces at play. Gu's polarizing identity on the global stage. Born and raised in the U.S., educated at Stanford, and competing for China, Gu embodies a globalized, cross-cultural identity that both inspires and unnerves audiences. Some view her as a bridge between East and West. Others see her as the focal point of broader geopolitical tensions. The rise of personality Olympics in the social media era. Today's Olympics are as much about moments as medals. Viral clips, memeable soundbites, and social narratives thrive in ways previous generations never experienced. Athletes are no longer just competitors. They are personal brands, media protagonists, and cultural symbols.